volunteers who have come together from all over the world to make our racing possible.
Hello and welcome to Invictus Racing League's Formula One. I am your commentator, H Racing Green, returning to IRL commentary box for this round. We are round 5 in the championship from Circuit of the Americas in Texas. For is sure to be a thrilling spectacle. This is Invictus Racing's top tier. This is F1. This is the cream of the crop when it comes to IRL's Formula One roster. And we have a 15-car grid for you today as qualifying gets underway here. So the two Ferraris heading out together this year, this season has been quite a hotly contested one so far. Foxy Red 2000 currently leads the championship on 37 points using a custom point system at the moment that offers 12 points for a win, 10 for second, 8 for third, 7 for fourth, and so on down until no points for beyond 10th place. Foxy Red then, yes, leads the championship. He is followed by Veni Vici in second with 28 points, sorry. UK Tranquility close behind in third on 26 points. So it is all to play for at the top of the championship. This is a 12-round calendar. This is just the 5th round, so everything is up for grabs. We've got multiple cars with number 1 on, which is interesting. Now then, let's take a look. We've got Gamer the Best on in the Toro Rosso, a well-known figure in the league racing community. He is absolutely rapid on his day, a fantastic driver. We've got Parkway Drive, seeing some names that we've seen before in IRL and elsewhere, and also some newcomers. So let's see then. We've got Sam Bankid, winner last time out in Monza. He currently sits 8th in the championship, having not actually been part of the championship in the first 3 rounds, so winning on his debut, in fact. Very impressive. Oh, I can't remember how to change camera. There we go. And we ride on board with him as he heads through this first sector, changing from 8th to 7th through there, and then, oh, a little bit of a 4-wheel drift. Interesting gear selection there, not one I've seen before, waiting until very late in the corners to change down and using gears higher than I normally would expect. Now heads down the hill. He's done his first sector. He's going to brake after the 50-metre board. Use the darker sections of tarmac to guide your car into the corner. Very nice through there. He's going to head along the back straight, opens his DRS, give him a maximum speed along this back straight. Braking now just at the 100-metre board. DRS automatically closes. Bit of a lock-up into there, but keeps it tidy. Now this tricky Mickey Mouse final sector through the right-hander there. Got to be careful not to lose the back end. Catches that curb nicely. Now a really tricky braking zone and a tricky exit as well. Holds it in third. Very nicely controlled through there. Now he's going to go around the turn 8 Istanbul-esque triple right there, then it's turn 20, the difficult blind left-hander extends that a little bit. I think he'll get away with that in terms of track limits. Through the final left-hander, takes it in an interesting gear selection, changes down to third late. 33.1 goes top of the timesheet. KLC 73, the only other person to set a time there. 33.6, Parkway Drive comes in with a 33.2, and Tranquility also with a 33.2. There's a brief yellow flag there, not sure what that was for. Let's go on board with Flying Froome. Is he on a flying lap? I think he is. He's driving for Red Bull this season. Not seen him as part of IRL before. I know him personally from Gran Turismo Sport Leagues. Through the... Oh, he's finding trouble. Cuts that the second to last corner a little bit there. Delange. Noah... Oh, I cannot remember. Did he win the Noah Assist Championship last season? I was commentating on it. I should know. Or was it... he was certainly a contender in no assists last season. Not no assists, in F2 last season, sorry. Getting all my leagues mixed up. And again proves that he has the pace in the top tier there. The 34.1, putting him 5th and a current 6th place in the championship, tied with ex-Rossi, 21 in 6th and 7th. So flying from does not set a legitimate lap. Clearly that cut invalidated it, or he indeed invalidated it elsewhere. Let's stay on board with him, though. Sorry, stay with him, not on board. We'll look at him from the outside. Number 37 emblazoned on that Red Bull there. Opens his DRS along the back straight he comes. Now he's got a bit of traffic up ahead. Not sure if that car is on a flying lap. It is a Ferrari up ahead. It's the Ferrari of Mike, currently in 7th for 34.7, 1.6 seconds off the pace. Noticing all of the top times so far were set on the ultra soft tyre. Rossi, the only one on the supers to have set a time, and Ollie Flavel, I don't know how to say your name, I'm sorry there. That's also on the super soft, but has not set a time yet. Comes this tricky left-hander, he gets it right this time, doesn't cut. What time is he going to set? He's coming to the line. It's not going to be pole, but it could be a low 34. Yes, a 34 flat to put him 5th. Quite a gap then between the top 4 and then the rest of the field. We've got just 2 tenths, well less than 2 tenths, 0.198 seconds separating 1st to 5th, and then well, I was going to say 7 tenths back to P to Mike, but actually we have got Delange with a 34.1. Speed Queen with a 34.1 and Ollie with a 34.2. Very impressive from him on the super soft tyre. That stands him in good stead there. Speed Queen, how is she getting on? Driving the Toro Rosso, partnering game at best in that one then. Not on a flying lap currently. How about Nicky in the Toro Rosso? In the Force India. 2 tenths off according to his wheel so far. We'll have to see. I think he is on a fast lap. He's done a 34.4 so far. That's good enough for P9. On the grid. Says he can't pit. Apparently his teammate is in the box at the moment. Looking at the cars who have not set a time, it is Tactics, currently 16th in the championship with a did not start, a DNF, no points, and only a 5-point pickup in Japan, round 3. So far, Gamer without a time, and Foxy Red, championship leader, has not set a time yet. We'll have to see what he can do. There's only 4.5 minutes left in this session. Interesting that, well, we've got most cars in the pits right now, and we have a lot of drivers biding their time, not wanting to waste a run, and Nicky comes in as well, so he's pushing quite hard on that in-lap. Who is out there? Foxy Red is out there currently in the McLaren. Let's see how he's getting on. I believe this is a flying lap. That looked pretty flying to me. As he comes down the hill towards the left-hander, nothing on his steering wheel, so he's not set any times at all. Well, as we know, he's not even set an invalidated banker, it's just nothing. As he heads now along the back straight, using the gears to his advantage, trying to rotate the car around the corner, dropping to 2nd gear, under-rotates the rear wheels. Gets the back end to come round on you in those tight corners. He heads now through that left-hander at the end of the straight, not too bad from him there. Then it's the tricky right, again using 2nd gear, up to 4th, up to 5th. Using all of the track available on the right-hand side, that makes it a very, very big effort to get the car across to the left to make the apex of that turn there through this triple right. Keeps it tight to the inside. Now, how much track is he going to use here? Or misses the apex by quite a way there, but not too bad. That's through this difficult last corner, using a lot of 2nd gear. That's an interesting style he's got there. He goes P5 with a 33.8. And he's got 3 minutes left. I don't think he is going to get another lap in, because to get the turnaround in the pits, I think that could be him done. Parkway Drive exits the pits. Let's have a rundown of your order then. We've got Sam Bamkin on provisional pole. It's a 33.1 currently. For pole, Parkway Drive in the Renault is 2nd with a 33.2, just over a tenth behind. The 2nd Renault of UK Tranquility, a mere poor 17 thousandths behind Parkway Drive, so closely contested between the 2 Renault drivers there. KLC, just 47 thousandths behind him. He's coming up right behind the current pole sitter. Sam Bamkin, he's going to want him to get out of the way or something. There's a bit of confusion going on here. Foxy Red and the McLaren further, and then half a second back, so that gap between 4th and 5th emerging again. And that's possibly going to be disappointing for the championship leader. I mean, I haven't commentated so far this season, so I don't know what's going on when it comes to qualifying positions and things like that. So I don't know if that's a pretty on the par starting position for him, or if that's a disappointment. I really don't know. Flying through on his outlap, he's in 6th place, 2 tenths behind. It's Delange, just over a tenth behind him. We've got Speed Queen then, Ollie Flavel or Flavor, I don't know. I'm going to say Ollie Flavel, I'm sorry if that's wrong. Nicky 9095 rounds out the top 10. Then it's Mike Sheepy and Rossi, the other cars to have set a time. Gamer and Tactics without a time yet. I am going to ride on board with Rossi for this lap. Currently P7 in the championship with 24 points, 13 points off the lead. So good results, absolutely. I mean, he could be in contention for a very solid position. Let's see what he can do. Currently, well, last of the cars have set a time, so it's not ideal at the moment. We'll have to see how he gets on as he comes through this first sector, holds it in 7th. Bit of a contrast to some of the guys who used 8th there, or using the gears, slows the car down quite a lot, but the line is quite clean. Difficult through this right-hander, really tough to get the car to move across, to get round that difficult right-hander over the crest. Easy to extend and invalidate there. He manages it okay. Passes 15-meter ball, brakes, turns in, late turning, tries to get the car across the track again. That wasn't too bad. Now he's got a good exit out of there. Moves across to the middle of the circuit for this back straight. I'd say it's a straight, it's just a very long right-hander in fact. Opens his DRS, he's going to just knock on 200 miles an hour as he breaks the 100-meter ball. Turns in, lots and lots of steering lock, quite a bit of understeer there. As he chucks the car in through that right-hander, misses the apex by a couple of feet maybe, but hits that curb nicely. Now difficult to get it across. KLC sets the fastest lap of the session. It's a 32.8 to go provisional pole by just under 3 tenths, about 2.5 tenths advantage he's got there. Through this right-hander, UK Tranquility and Foxy Red do not improve. They cross the line in position. Nothing to be gained there. Here we go, and it's going to be X Rossi across the line. Can he better his 34.9? He can. It's going to be a 33.4 to go P5, or provisionally P5. Flying Froome then, we ride on board with as he heads along the back straight. Kelsey retires, happy with that. He can't improve from there, from that point onwards. Flying Froome not improving either, backs off on the start-finish straight. How about Delange? Is he on a flying lap? He's running out of fuel. I think he is on a flyer though. I might be mistaken. Nicky goes P11, doesn't improve. So he will be starting, potentially some might consider prime position. Parkway Drive goes pole position by just over a tenth. And he takes that top spot for Renault. So Renault are going to start 1st and 4th. Really solid beginning. Really solid position for them. Mike goes 8th. In the Ferrari. What is the other Ferrari going to do here? He accelerates out of the final corner, opens DRS, he goes P6 and 33.7. Speed Queen is P8, X Rossi P5. Anyone else on a lap? We've got Ollie. What is he going to do in the Haas? He comes to the line, he goes 32.7, but it appears to be invalidated because he stayed on a 34.2 there. Tactics is out of fuel, he has not set a time. Sheepy a 34.8, very, very close to Tactics. And Gamer comes into the pits without a time set. His Toro Rosso is going to be rounding out the field. Stone dead last, P15 for him. Potentially a disappointment because we know he is a very fast driver. And that is possibly not where he wanted to be starting. We want 1 minute and 15 seconds to count down now then until the end of the race. End of the session. And I'll give you a rundown of your starting grid. We've got Parkway Drive, P1, starting on pole position for that run up the steep hill to turn 1. Then it's Sam Bamkid with a 32.861 to go 2nd. KLC, then UK Tranquility make up the 2nd row. Rossi and Delange make up the 3rd. Then it's Foxy Red, championship leader, starts P7. Tough for him. He does have a 9-point advantage over his nearest challenger, Veni Vidi Vici, who is not here this week, so not the end of the world for him. It's Speed Queen in P8 in the Toro Rosso. She's currently P5 in the championship, hoping to pick up some more points and move up ahead, I'm sure. Flying Froome is 9th, Mike rounds out the top 10. Ollie potentially in prime position, he gets fresh tyres there in P11. Nicky is P12, Tactics comes in at P13, Sheepy P14, last of the timed runners, and Gamer the Best does not set a time. He will not be, he does not get any credit there. He will start P15. And there you are, that is official confirmation. Ollie on the Supers, it says there. He was on the Ultras on my screen. That's interesting. So then. Oh, I'm gonna block that because we've had videos removed for that in the past. There we are then. We've got 20 seconds on the countdown. Drivers will be picking their strategies. Of course, the top 10 will be starting on the tyres. They, did their qualifying laps on from P10 downwards. They are free to choose. I don't know if there's a formation lap or anything like that. Let's take a look. There is a formation lap. So away they go then. Very slowly, staggered, starting the formation lap. We are going to get everyone's tyres and telemetry up. Make sure everyone can see what is happening. Let's take a look at the tyre strategies then. We've got the top 10 on Ultras, obviously. Then Ollie opting for the Supers to start. Nicky goes for the Ultras, Tactics goes for the Supers, Sheepy on the Ultras, and Gamer goes for the soft tyres. He is going to be going a long way into this race on the opening stint then. As he obviously will be looking for the one stop, I imagine, to go into a set of Ultras at the end. More than likely, that is the strategy that a lot of people are going Ultras and then soft tyres. But we'll have to see. Well, I don't, obviously I'm not familiar with the league that well. I don't really... I don't know the driver's attributes on that much. You know, there's a couple that I've recognised from previous commentaries, but a little bit in the dark about this one, so I'll be learning as much as the drivers are in this race. So that kid giving Parkway a little bit of a hurry up there. Trying to get him to go around this formation lap a little bit quicker. We've done it for a minute and a half already. Gamer is last. Gamer didn't set a time. Oh, brilliant. As they head around to the final corner. And they're going to come to the start-finish line. Now, if we could get a camera angle that isn't from the front wing, I would really appreciate it, please. Let's see, can we spectate? No, can we spectate anyone who's not? Okay, well that'll do. As the grid forms up then. And I really don't want... There we go. And we are building up to 5 red lights. And we're away. It's a good start from the Force India by the looks of things. Here they come as they... And also from Sam Bamkin, he's going to go up the inside of the Renault. The Force India is going to go up the inside of the both. And there's a little bit of contact. The pole sitter gets forced out down to 5th place. It's going to be side by side for the Force India and the Mercedes as we head into the S section for the first time. It's still side by side, neither one wanting to yield. The Force India cuts the corner off, has to give the position up. UK Tranquility up to 3rd, Rossi into 4th, Parkway Drive up to 5th, Delange is 6th, Foxy Red 7th, Speed Queen in 8th. Delange gets bumped down to 7th place there. Ollie into 9th, Mike into 10th, Sheepy up to 11th, Gamer up to 12th. We've got Nicky Tactics flying through and get shunted down to P15. We're going to look at the battle that's going on here. The championship leader up to 6th place already, but he's got pressure from the Ferrari behind, and he is losing time to the cars in front already with all this battling. I think that's Ollie and the Speed Queen going side by side along this back straight. Yep, here we go. Here comes Ollie. He's going to go up the inside. Is he going to make the move? He does not. There's a little bit of contact, front wing just getting stuck in there. It's Sheepy versus Mike into the final sector of this first lap, and they've got pressure from Gamer behind as well. Up the, oh my word, Ollie looking up the inside of Speed Queen there. Not too sure about that one, as now Delange pressures Foxy Red for P6. Foxy Red already nearly 2 seconds behind the top 5, so championship leader not having a great start to this race, it must be said. Ollie looking up the inside of Speed Queen. He's not got the confidence to do it. Is he going to have the run now along the front straight? He taps back in behind the Junior Red Bull car. Now he's going to be in the slipstream as he comes up to this massive wide braking zone into turn 1. He's cutting it very close, using a bit of contact to get past. Speed Queen tried to shut the door there, possibly actually cost herself more time by doing that. Could have left the door a little bit open, tried to get the exit. Oh, and very, very harsh there as they go side by side into the S's. Speed Queen gets a bit forced out. Sheepy has sort of takes a little bit of avoiding action there actually. And in P10 he has made a pretty solid start, coming up from P14, P13 I believe he was there. Let's take a look. Delange still chasing down Foxy Red on this second lap. Not got much of a gap, but just enough. And actually we've got Parkway Drive and X Rossi going side by side along this back straight. Is he going to go up the inside? He's going to try it. Does he get it done? He does. So a nice move up the inside from Parkway. The pole sitter got forced out early on in the first lap by the 2 cars up his inside, and then a couple of cars into the S section I think. So he's got a little bit of work to do to regain that position. He's got his teammate ahead of him in P3. There's a yellow in sectors 2 and 3. What has gone on there? Mike has dropped all the way down the field. He's been, I'm not sure if he's lost on himself or if he's been hit there. Whoa, Sam Bankid, we switch back to him. He goes very, very wide. He's got a, just over a 1.5 second gap to the car behind. He sets a 36.8 as the fastest lap of the race. DRS has been enabled by race control. UK Tranquility in the Renault. Can he do anything to pass the Force India? Currently it's 6/10 the gap, so possibly a little bit far to be making any moves just yet, but we'll have to see how he progresses. His teammate not really threatening him too much at the moment, and we have to wonder actually about teammate relations in this championship, as could be seeing potential for team orders, etc. If a constructors battle does come into the equation. The Renaults certainly don't want to be clattering into each other when battling for a podium position, when they could easily take home a healthy 27 points. What am I talking about? Oh, and the Force India tries to go at the inside of Sam Bankid. Kind of misjudges it, clatters into the back of him a little bit. He's going to go up the inside here. There's a lot of contact. We could be seeing cars glued together here. Oh my word, this is extremely hard racing. I mean, it's a little bit beyond that at this point. He's going to try the cutback as we head to the triple right-hander. The conversation about team orders and clattering into each other when they could take a good points haul has been put on hold ever so slightly, as the Mercedes and the Force India go toe-to-toe, head-to-head on just lap 3 of this race. He's going to get DRS just over 4/10, so Sam Bankid possibly making a mistake on that lap there. Nicky already has a 3-second time penalty, but yeah, Sam Bankid potentially making a mistake that allowed KLC to catch up and start harassing him for that leading position, and this is allowing UK Tranquility and Parkway Drive to catch up. UK Tranquility possibly dragging Parkway Drive along back into this battle. Bit of teamwork with some slipstreaming, etc. to try and make this work. Now we're going to head to another DRS zone along this back straight. Can KLC gain enough time in order to make a move at the end of this straight. He's got a decent exit. Southampton does get a very good one though. Gap stays about the same between them. Now he opens DRS. I don't think he's close enough. Delange is falling down the field. What has gone on there? They're just going to drag away a bit. Delange has crashed at the exit. Oh, he spun at the exit of the left-hander before the back straight, and the both two Ferraris, P14 and P15. What an absolute disaster for those guys then. Really not what they wanted. Gamer is all over the back of his teammate as well. If we look between P8 and P9, just a 4/10 gap between those guys. Very close race, this one. Not a lot of moves perhaps happening, but the gaps between the cars very small. Pretty stereotypical of an F1 2017 race, to be honest, with the dirty air these cars produce, plus the driving model of the game really does lend itself to close gaps, but not a lot of battling really, not a lot of overtakes occurring. So Kelsey dropped away a little bit in that final sector there. I don't know if you might have maybe even picked up a touch of wing damage, a touch of light green wing damage on that, in that really harsh battle that they had together. Because that's always a possibility with this game. Just the tap on the front wing can really cost you a lot of time. Delange pits there, as we saw, he lost the end of his front wing, so he is going to be going the long game. I imagine a set of softs to try and get to the end. Maybe he'll push on a set of ultras or supers and then do another stop later on. Who knows? He's gone for the supers, so there we go. I imagine he'll be making a 2-stop then. Parkway Drive right on the back of his teammate here. I believe we could be seeing a pass between the Renaults. Oh dearie me, the UK Tranquility backing off mid-corner, it seemed there, to try and almost sabotage his teammate in passing him. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not, but actually Tranquility does have DRS as well, only 8/10 off the back of KLC, so nothing to be made for Parkway Drive at this moment in time. Gamer has passed Speed Queen, as we see there, and Flying Through is right on the back of Nicky for P12. We take a look at some of these guys further down the field. Let's take a look at the battle between Flying Through and Nicky. Oh, it's actually a four-way battle. Tactics, Sheepy, Nicky and Froome all battling for what will be the final put spec position. Tactics goes wide, he's going to try the cutback, he's not going to get it. Sheepy's going to repass him, and they're going to go side by side into this right-hander. Oh, this is quite the battle. He's going to try and force him. It's not quite worked out, so Tactics yields that position, but he's going to have pressure from two cars behind him as well. Can he retake the Williams and move back up into P10? Oh, big oversteer for Flying Through. He is going to lose a lot of time, lose touch with this battle a little bit. Can Tactics super soft tyres start to overcome the probably quite worn ultra soft on some of these cars now? He gets the move done. Is Nicky going to be able to make a move now? This is interesting. These cars, it's got to be very difficult for the cars following, especially cars following two cars. The double dirty air, plus the potential that you might outbrake the car in front and clatter into the one in front of them, is really quite the danger. Look, he's actually being held up quite a lot through that S section. I mean, he's very rarely on throttle, actually coasting through a lot of that there, and it's allowed for him to catch right back up, despite the mistake at the final corner on the previous lap. We're going to head down to this left-hander before the back straight. Oh, he looks at the inside, actually misjudges that a little bit. Costs himself some time in the mid-corner as he makes that angle a little bit too acute to carry much speed. UK Tranquility is right on the back of KLC there. I don't think he's going to make a move. I am going to, as we look... Oh, Sheepy's going up the inside. Oh, there's contact. He's going to go, and here we go. Nicky goes up the inside of the Williams. He's going to look, and he has taken the Williams around the outside. That became for that difficult right-hander, and now he's got Tactics ahead of him. Can he pass the Mercedes and take that final point-paying position? Southampton gets a 3-second time penalty. Haven't noticed Kelsey go one of those yet. I think we're going to see a lot of penalties this race. It is very easy to pick up warnings here. Now through the left-hander, that difficult blind left-hander, he makes it. They both make it. Now this is interesting from Nicky, is he's creating a very sharp angle for a lot of these corners, trying to like duck up the inside of the Mercedes in front when he's far too far away, and this is costing him a bit of time. I think perhaps if he just took more traditional lines through the corners, he would make up a lot more time. As we see there, he catches the car in the mid-corner a lot more, flying through his pit in fact, than when he takes those acute angles. Cool Tactics cuts that corner there, understeers a little bit in the corner beforehand, and I think Nicky is being held up by this Mercedes driver attach here. I feel like he might have supreme pace. It could all come down to setups, etc. I keep saying etc. Because obviously the slipstream is very important. It's not very powerful, but it can be a very useful tool. Losing the back end, he was very close there, but the lack of traction really not helping him to make the pass on the Mercedes in front. I'm just going to quickly switch back to the cars at the front because we have some very close battling going on here. The two Renaults still running. Parkway Drive has passed UK Tranquility now. So the Renault still run nose to tail, but in a different order, and Parkway is now looking to KLC to retake P2. KLC has dropped to about 2.4 seconds off the back of Sam Bamke, make that 2.5 through there. And he does not look to quite have the pace at the moment. Rossi has pit, so the Haas car pits from P5. Foxy Red in the McLaren follows him. Is Parkway Drive going to have a look at the inside? No, KLC moves across just at the last minute to block any potential moves. Using fourth gear of the exit, trying to get that traction, trying to get the run as we head towards the S section. Here we go, this is fast through here. Dirty Air makes it difficult. Parkway gets a 3-second time penalty. Not actually noticing cut that much there, so that's interesting. Oh, and KLC makes the error. He gets caught on the curb, trying to minimise how much of an angle he had to take that corner at. Ends up making an error, gets stuck on the curb, gets passed by Parkway Drive. KLC will have a DRS on the Renault in front now, so Parkway Drive going to have to go defensive into this hairpin at the end of the straight, I think. But he does also have UK Tranquility behind him, does KLC. Although Tranquility is not getting the best of exits out of that left-hander before the long straight. So what is he going to do? KLC looking at the inside of the Renault. We're going to change to an outside view. Up the inside he goes. Can he get the move done? No, the Renault holds it. He's going to have the inside then for this corner. And now, oh, the next Renault comes up the inside. There's nearly contact. It becomes the outside. Now for the corner, it's going to be the inside for this difficult left. There's nearly contact. What fantastic racing this is. Somehow there's no contact there. They're going to go side by side through the triple right, and they've got the other Renault behind them. These guys have got to be careful not to lose position here to the car behind. It's up the inside at turn 20 for KLC. He gets the move done, and now the Renault, the following Renault and KLC pit there. That is an absolutely incredible battle that incredibly culminates in the cars pitting. So these guys really not wanting to lose track position when they pit. KLC and UK Tranquility. KLC has gone for the whatever F1 2017 doesn't like telling you. He's gone for the soft. UK Tranquility goes to the supers. Is there potential we're going to see split strategies here? I can't believe... No, Tranquility's gone for the softs as well, so they could both go for one stops. I don't understand this game sometimes. But ex-Rossi 21 has jumped there, as has Foxy Red. I'm going to have to skip back down, but KLC battling with Foxy Red. So Foxy Red and ex-Rossi get a massive undercut. They get ahead of Tranquility and KLC. Tranquility has actually dropped a long way back from KLC there, despite getting the move done. Sorry, not despite getting the move done, but despite actually really catching up. At the end of the stint, he has not been able to pass him in the pit stop phase. He's now 1.2 seconds behind, but KLC is following Foxy Red. Foxy Red is off his course on the faster tyre, as is ex-Rossi. These guys likely going for a two-stop. We're going to look at two Ollie and Gamer. Gamer on the soft, so he's going to go a long way. He will assume the lead of this race in the not too distant future. I am certain of it. But of course he's on the slower tyre. Flavel on the medium tyre. Oh my word, big lag spike there. As Sam Bamke pits, Parkway Drive pits, so Gamer and Flavel will take P1 and P2. Let's follow this. It's going to be soft tyres for those guys, yeah. Parkway, let's see, he is of course in the Renault, he's going just ahead of Sam Bamke there. And yeah, it's going to be soft tyres for him as well. Away they go. As they are going to be behind. Obviously, Nicky hasn't stopped yet, nor has Tactics, nor has Flavel, nor has Gamer. So Sam Bam does hold on to the lead. Sheepy hasn't stopped yet. Rossi has inherited a net P2 at the moment. But he does, of course, have to stop again, I think. I don't believe he can go that long on a set of supers, but I may be proven wrong. Foxy Red also currently P3, but does have another stop to make, I think. Sheepy is holding these guys up though, and it's allowing KLC and UK Tranquility to catch up. Parkway Drive right up behind his teammate as well. Oh, and there's contact. There's that. Ex-Rossi is out of this race. It is an absolute disaster. Those cars got stuck together. I'm not sure who that was. So Rossi out of the race. He is gone from this. He is in the wall. There he is. No front left tyre. He had just inherited P2. He has got caught. He has been caught with, I think that was Foxy Red. Yeah, Foxy Red lacking an end plate, so he is certainly being involved in that. He is definitely going to have to stop again. He yields the position to the Renault. I can't believe he's going to fight this very hard. No, there we go. And he's got another Renault up behind him now. And Foxy Red, the championship leader, involved in an absolute disaster class there, as he gets caught with the Haas, and the Haas ends up in the wall, no front wheel. Oh, and Foxy Red has to go so slow through that corner. He's holding up the Renault immensely there because he's got no front end plate. Look at that. What an absolute tragedy there. So Rossi, who's P5 in the championship, I believe, not going to be scoring any points. Sorry, P7 in the championship, not going to be scoring any points, and that is his third non-points finish in a row, with a did not finish at Japan and a did not start at Monza last time out. He adds another DNF to his tally, with Sam Bamkid up behind, Parkway Drive and Sheepy all doing pretty well. I don't see how this is going to end very well for his championship struggle. So Foxy Red down to P12 then, championship leader. I mean, he can count his blessings, I suppose, that Veni Vidi Vici is not in the race, but Tranquility is doing well, or is scheduled to do well here, and he is definitely in this race. I imagine if he carries this on, he could be certainly passing Veni Vidi Vici and challenging Foxy Red, depending on how these guys finish, whether or not they get points. That remains to be seen. 17 laps left in this event. Here we go then. No DRS for Sheepy, interestingly. Oh, as he moves across, the Renault tries to come through. The Renault is looking to go up the inside of both his teammate and the Williams. The Williams yields there. That's sort of understandable. He had a Renault in front of him, so there wasn't really any way he could outbrake the other Renault that was coming up alongside. Some great teamwork there from those guys, actually. And now the Renaults run line astern around that triple right. Let's take a look at some of the battles potentially happening further up the field. KCL has tactics up behind him. KLC, not KCL. KLC has passed him now. And I think KLC will be pulling away, just he's on fresher tyres. He pulls away there. So Sheepy pits then for the supers. He possibly could go to the end. 12 laps on the 12 laps on the ultras, and now he can probably do 16 on the supers. Rossi leads the session. This could be interesting in these battles because, as we know, the slipstream glitch is back. So we could be seeing some interesting battles not happening now, because of the way that this game works. Let's see, he's going to be tucked into what would be the slipstream. He's going to open DRS. I would imagine some gains would normally be made. He's not really making any inroads, and I think we can confirm that. Slipstream is gone. He's going to have a look at the inside anyway. That's brave, because that's his teammate. His teammate actually yields a bit. Yeah, lets him through, not wanting to battle. That's probably fair. Good teamwork from the Renaults. They are not risking anything at the moment. Both of them, well, Parkway down in P9 currently, only having done one race, and UK Tranquility though. Both of these guys not wanting to jeopardise each other's championship chances, nor the chances of their team in the constructors. Ollie then pits. He's done 12 laps on those supers. Not really long enough, I don't think. I imagine he'll go on to a set of softs, but that sort of defeat the point of running those. Yeah, interesting that he's gone for that strategy. Clearly didn't have the faith in the ultras to do that first stint, which is probably fair. Not too familiar with the tyre wear at this circuit on this game, having not really driven much of it. Nicky apparently no, there we go, that's the timing broke there. So let's give you a quick rundown there. We've got Gamer currently leading. He's the only one to have not stopped yet, I believe. Sam Bankid then in a net lead with KLC in second behind him. It's Parkway Drive currently fourth with a net third. UK Tranquility follows him. The Renault's there in fourth and fifth. We've got Speed Queen in P7 currently for Toro Rosso. Her relation to her teammate remains to be seen. I think they'll come out pretty close to each other. Flying through in 8th there on the Ultras, so he will have a pace advantage on Speed Queen, I think, and could be making a move. Obviously those tyres aren't going to go to the end, so his strategy's a bit out of whack, having to pit earlier and all that, having been punted down the field on the first lap. Then we've got Nicky, who is on a different set of tyres to what it says on my screen. That is just fantastic from Codemasters GG. We've got Tactics in P10. He's just made his stop. He does not have to stop again. He could be taking advantage of these cars that do have to stop again. We've got Sheepy in P11 there on the Supers. Mike in P12. Then the other Ferrari of Delange in P13. Foxy Red has just dropped behind him. He's going to be on the back of him with the DRS open. Slipstream definitely not there because he is not gaining at all as he appears to be in the tow. The Ferrari yields. He's going to try the cutback. Doesn't get it. McLaren moves from P14 into P13. Oh, this is like a battle in 2009. There's a McLaren versus a Ferrari which is P13. Let's look with Gamer, our current leader. I believe he's led the most laps of anyone so far this race, thanks to pit stops. If we take a look then at the... as we look at the leader gap, so there we go. So I reckon it's a roughly 20-second pit lane here. So Gamer, if he times this right, could come out in roughly P6, I think he'll come out in P6, and he'll have fresher, faster tyres. So Gamer really could be a solid contender for a top 5 here. Potentially a podium if he makes them last and really does have good pace while the others do suffer a drop-off. We are at halfway point in this race at the end of this lap, at 14 of 28. Already it's been a fascinating affair. I'm glad it's an interesting one for my return to the commentary box. Would have sucked if we'd done this at somewhere like Monaco where nothing happens. Flying Froome then, looking on the back of Speed Queen, not really making any inroads at the moment. Through the final sector he comes. Gains a little bit in that section, but not enough to make any moves, and through there he's not quite as fast. The field a little bit spread out at the moment, so we're going to have to see just how this develops, how the tyre wear, how fuel for some of these drivers potentially might come into play. It's a big disappointment. I'm gonna just take a look then at what the championship would look like if the race finished as it is at the moment. Actually, of course, with discounting Gamer in the lead, of course. So Sam Bankid takes the win. That'll be 2 in a row. That'll put him on to 24 points. And then KLC, I don't know who KLC is in the championship. Is it potentially Thomas Fox? No, KLC there. So KLC would actually take his first points finish of the season, interestingly. He had a DNS last time, having not started any races before that either. So, interesting, he will move up, obviously, a few places, thanks to points of just a finish in the race. Parkway Drive will move up as well. I think we're going to see Delange, Rossi and Vici, Aveni Vici, fall in the tables when this race reaches its conclusion. And in comes Flying Froome then. The Ultra is not working for him anymore. He will probably go to the end of the race on whichever set of tyres he chooses. Now let's look at this. UK Tranquility has actually dropped off of Parkway Drive here. Not sure if that's intentional or not. But Parkway Drive is really catching the Force India that currently holds net second place. Could be seeing a battle for that position here course, we will have to take in penalties into account later on in the race. I'm wondering when Gamer's going to stop as well. I think he could be stopping in the next couple of laps to go onto a set of ultras. I think they'll easily go 9 or 10 laps, so hopefully he'll make that work for him. And along the back straight, not really any gains. About 4.5 tenths the gap there at the end of the straight. Oh, misses that apex a touch, outbrakes himself a little bit. Not too much lost, maybe a tenth lost in that corner. But he does gain it again in the braking zone of the next few corners. So it really is sort of almost an accordion effect here, where the cars are bunching up in the braking zone, but they do actually spread out again through the acceleration points. Oh, KLC runs wide there. It costs him a little bit of time. That's dropping the gap back down to 4 tenths, and there again, missing the apex. The gap now going to be coming to under 4 tenths as he has DRS. So they head towards the first corner. There's not really anywhere to pass there. Here we go. Again into the S section. 3.5 tenths of the gap. I imagine the Renault's going to drop off a little bit thanks to the dirty air. I was actually mistaken. He's managed to catch up. KLC getting a bit of... KLC, sorry. Getting a bit of a four-wheel drift possibly on change down. That's one of the strange features of this handling model is changing down gears. It seems to cause the back end to kick out an awful lot. Lots of four-wheel drifts occur in this game. Oh, they're very light contact in the braking zone. KLC braking very, very early there, potentially trying to put off the Renault behind. Parkway Drive trying to make a move. KLC desperately trying to defend, doesn't want to be passed. Again, nothing he can do there. Doesn't quite, thanks to that hold up in the braking zone, couldn't quite capitalise on the improved distance between them. Again to the final sector, not a lot between them, but not a small enough gap to really make any passes. And actually now, as these hold-ups start to occur for Parkway Drive, UK Tranquility, his teammate is catching back up again. Gamer has pit finally, he's gone to the Ultras, he's dropped to 4th, he'll drop to 5th. Is he going to get out ahead of Ollie Flavel? I doubt it. No, there we go. So now it's Speed Queen, his teammate. Will he get out ahead? We're going to just come away from that. Yes, he does, by quite a margin, actually. By roughly, dearie me, maybe 10 or so seconds, I think. Yeah. So Gamer now, he's just under 3 seconds behind Flavel, who just under 3 seconds, was just over 2 seconds, sorry, behind Tranquility. I mean, we'd see Gamer challenging for P2 here, depending on how his ultras last, depending on the pace. Flying through, so it's the fastest lap of the race. It's 36.5. Tranquility looking to the inside, doesn't go for it this lap. That's interesting. I think with this lack of slipstream, he might be needing to make moves when he can, just to try and get up the inside into whichever corner he can, regardless of whether or not it'll give his opponent DRS. Oh, missed apex for KLC again. He's leaving himself very exposed here. I can see Parkway either going for a pretty standard move or really making a lunge for this at some point, because he is really being held up. Just 1.1, or less than 1.1 seconds down to his teammate behind. He was about 2.7 down only a couple of laps ago. So the Force India really holding this Renault driver up. And he's going to be holding both Renault drivers up soon, I'm sure of it. As they all converge on this P2, he misses the apex again. I think I mean, if we look at his driving style, we saw it in qualifying. He uses second gear a lot in the corners, and that is causing him to under-rotate the rear wheels. And that's causing him to lose the back end, causing these four-wheel drifts that is costing him time. And there you go, look, you can see behind him the two Renaults closing in, waiting for that moment to strike. I think we could be seeing Parkway Drive going up the inside, into the left-hander before the back straight on this lap. I don't think he is going to want to wait any longer. Let's see as they come through this tricky uphill right, and then across to this off-camber left, over the crest, then down the hill. Oh, bit of a slide for the Parkway there, as he's going to look. Is he going to look up the inside? No, he does not. Is he going to try it here then? He's very close. This is the closest he's been, I think. Has he got any fuel? Has he got rich mix to use? He opens his DRS. There's no slipstream, so he's really struggling. He's got the gap to under 2/10. KLC goes defensive round the outside. Sorry, he tries it. KLC defends well, brakes late, cuts off the exit route. And actually, as we're talking about that, Gamer and Flavel going side by side as we come through the final sector. It's going to be the inside for Gamer as we hit this difficult left. He has got the move done. Fresher Ultra Softs against worn out or more worn softs is a big advantage for the Toro Rosso, and he is going to be coming on to UK Tranquility very, very soon, I think. As Tranquility stuck behind his teammate and this Force India, battling for P2. Gamer sets the fastest lap with the 36.2. Sam Bamkid has cleared off 10.5 seconds up the road. A great drive from him so far. And I am now wondering, are we going to see maybe some team orders, not for these Renaults to stay in order, but possibly will Parkway let Tranquility through, let him have a go at the Force India ahead, possibly get Tranquility to pass the Force India and cost the Force India some time in the process and allow him to dive up the inside, nip through at the last moment. It's all about playing the game, all about the tactics when it comes to battles like this, especially ones that involve two teammates. And Gamer, look at this, right on the back of these guys. He is going to be reveling in this. He has the opportunity to take P2 here. KLC is costing these guys a lot of time. There's not really a way around it. He is certainly not faster than them. Is he going to look to the inside here? He goes for it. At the inside, KLC does not defend it. He's going to try the cutback. He actually pretty much stops mid-corner, does Parkway. He's going to go side by side here. He's going to push him out wide. Is this going to let the other Renault through? He cuts that corner onto the red section. Oh, he forces him out. The Renaults then end up nearly tangling, and the Toro Rosso is just waiting. He's reveling in this. I mean, I can see Gamer going for it here. Is he going to look at the inside into turn 20? He does not. He waits a second. KLC, sorry, really battling hard. He really does not want to give up this position. He's costing himself and the guys behind a lot of time. I mean, we've got P2 to P6 all sort of together here. And I can potentially sense some desperation from Parkway Drive. He wants that P2. I mean, he was pole and he unfortunately got shafted out of it really quite early on, thanks to the two cars coming up his inside. We're going to go to the area shot as we head through the S's on lap 21. We come through this left-hander, and there's Gamer looking at the inside of the Renault. He is getting impatient now as well. He wants in on this action. I think Gamer actually has the best chance of taking P2. Back down the hill we come again then. We've got Parkway Drive up the inside of, sorry, right behind, and then we go Gamer up the inside of UK Tranquility, uses the cutback actually, but Gamer does not quite get the exit that he was aiming for. He's going to go side by side with the Renault. I'm going to switch to a little bit further down. There we go. Here we go. The Toro Rosso up the inside. I feel like this is a done move. If he can just get it done clean. It's not. He hesitated potentially in the mid-corner, and it's going to be side by side again through this right-hander. Oh, but the superior grip of the Ultras allows him to drive all the way around the outside. Very, very nice there. And now he is going to attack Parkway and KLC for this potential P2 position, which would certainly be drive of the day, absolutely. To come from stone dead last to even be coming up to fighting these positions is very impressive, but indeed to be coming up to finish on the podium would be quite something. Let's hope I haven't cursed him there, as we've still got 6 laps to go. And anything can happen in those 6 laps. The Renault looking to the inside. Oh my word, the Force India moves in the braking zone. He forces him to cut the corner. They get stuck together, and there they span. Oh, and there's all sorts of contact. KLC loses a front end plate. Flavel, I think, loses a front end plate as well. Tranquility got caught in that Parkway Drive, was stuck to the Force India. I think I may have to watch that back, but I think KLC was at fault. They're moving twice. Double moved in the braking zone, moved across on the Renault, left him nowhere to go but across the inside. The cars got glued together. Oh my word, and KLC going so slowly with half a front wing, brake checks Parkway Drive in the mid-corner. That is an absolute disaster for him. Dearie me, that is not what we want to see after what was such a great battle. Tranquility into P3. Gamer has taken that P2. He made a really great advantage out of that. And just as I said, I didn't want to curse Gamer, but it appeared that KLC and Parkway were cursed by my hypothesizing that Gamer could get P2. That is an absolute disaster for those guys. KLC will have to pit. Parkway likely will have to pit. I think he's missing some front wing. Maybe he won't. He might just take a P5 here. And now we've got Speed Queen and Nikki close together for P7 here. So this could turn into something interesting in the final 5 laps. Gamer is catching Sandbab. I don't think he's catching him enough to really make anything of that, but you know. He's very close. He's going to look up the inside. Oh my word, that's very close. Nicky, look, I think he's going to take this P7 here. He appears to have superior pace. I don't know what tyre he's on, if he's actually on soft or if he is on super soft. No, it's a bit of a mystery to me here. Ooh, Speed Queen goes a bit defensive, but not too much. Oh, Shibi gets a 5-second stop go spinning in the pit lane. He pits again. As I said, those guys on the supers probably having to do 2 stops in this race. Oh, Shibi retires. He's cleared enough of that. So he did make a good start, was fighting in the points, but sadly doesn't make it any further in this race. I think Tranquility does have wing damage because Flavel is really on the back of him now. Foxy Ray gets another penalty. There's a yellow in sector 1, I don't know what that is. Oh, it's probably the Williams of Sheepy stopping. I think Tranquility does have minor wing damage from that contact. KLC actually hasn't stopped. He stayed out, so he's probably going to be passed by Parkway Drive, I imagine, in the not too distant future. But Flavel all over the back of Tranquility here. I think Tranquility could be losing his podium position. I don't really know what this means for the championship. I'm obviously not quite caught up with it, but I think Tranquility's potential to challenge for the championship lead, certainly challenge for P2 in the championship, has been diminished somewhat. Now then, so look, Nikki on the back of Speed Queen still. No change there yet though. Oh my word, Speed Queen runs wide. We just cut to that. Speed Queen runs wide at the first corner. So cuts back onto the track. Nikki was, well, I mean, using the track that was available to him really, but there the Toro Rosso sort of came back across into it. Thankfully no harm done, just a bit of time lost for the Force India there, and he has got the Mercedes of Tactics up behind him in P9, so this battle for P7 hotting up a little bit now. Could be seeing some interesting moves coming in the final few laps. Just 4 laps to go at the end of this one. And penalties are going to start coming into effect. We've had quite a few I've seen. So that could, well, there's potential that it could sway the result. I don't think it will sway it too much because all of these guys have similar penalties or gaps that are too big to be affected, but some guys could suffer because of the corner cutting here. And Nikki again close to Speed Queen but not quite able to get past, and without the slipstream this really is a true F1 2017 battle. It's tricky, right? Oh, gets in the dirty air. You can just see how the car understeers. It's interesting though how we don't have slipstream, but it does appear dirty air is working. The slipstream not really doing anything, but dirty air certainly is, which is just bizarre. Here we go, then along the front straight they come once more. These guys start their lap 25. Flavo and KLC all getting penalties. Parkway Drive right on the back of this Force India. He is going to be probably fuming with this. With KLC here. I mean, not only is KLC driving just incredibly slowly because of his damaged wing, but I think KLC did really cause that instant. He's weaving before the braking zone. I'm not quite sure what KLC's playing at here. He's not, I wouldn't say he's driving all that sportingly. Having moved in the braking zone, he's weaving around. This is not very good to see. I like to see a hard battle. No, he's just moving around now. Is he going to move in the braking zone? I would not be surprised. He's gone for the very late braking. He's actually somehow made it stick. That's quite impressive. Would have thought Tranquility with the better front wing would have that. Looks to the inside, doesn't quite get the move done. Through this left-hander, Nicky has passed Tactics there in a battle there. On the back of Speed Queen. Oh my god. Oh, and KLC's just going so slowly through these corners because of his wing damage. Oh, and there's contact again. Parkway gets stuck on the rear wheel of KLC. I don't remember the lag there. I'm really not sure. I mean, I don't really know what is happening here. I think that might have just been a racing incident. I'm not sure. I think it was a little bit unfortunate that the run the Renault got through the corner was just a bit too much for the Force India, and they got caught. I'm not sure about KLC's weaving on the straights and all that. Not particularly sporting. Oh, and at the inside we have Nicky. He makes an aggressive move on Speed Queen, gets it done. Tactics in 9th, and Froome is closing in on those supers. He's got good pace now, and he could be looking at a 7th place finish if he plays this right. At the inside goes Speed. Oh, and there's contact. There's contact. Was way too optimistic. Hits the Force India, who ends up sliding across the gravel. Sorry, not across the grass, across the runoff, and ends up now down in P9. Allows Tactics through to 7th. Froome up to P8, and like I said, he could be challenging for P7 here. That was quite clumsy there from I think from Speed Queen. Really, possibly shouldn't have just clattered into the back wheels of that Force India car. It's quite an easily avoidable incident. Oh, Froome had great run on the back of the Mercedes of Tactics. Didn't go for it. We've got 2 laps to go at the end of this one. I mean, Sam Bumpkin's already started his second to last lap. And here these guys go through the final sector. Speed Queen down to P11. Foxy Red, so championship leader, is going to score a point. Speed Queen, Mike Delange, Sheepy and Rossi, no points to be scored for them. I mean, I say that providing no one in the top 10 makes an error. Now Parkway right at the back of KLC. Again, KLC diving late across in the braking zone. Oh, and just brakes in the middle of the corner. This is quite... I'm going to run on board because I'm going to ride on board with KLC, and we're going to look at his telemetry, and we're going to see just what is going on here. Appreciate he won't have great pace through there because he's got a broken front wing. Here we go. Here comes Parkway. He's just going to close the door. He definitely knew that Renault was there. The Renault's been forced across the grass. This is just bizarre. I don't know if this is like driving standards or if this is just the issue with the front wing that KLC's got. Maybe it's tyre wear as well. I'm really not sure. Parkway 8/10 behind again. He keeps catching up so quickly because of the slow cornering speed this Force India's got with its half a front wing. Oh, through that left-hander, you can just see, look how much he gains. I mean, he gains 3/10 in a corner that you take at 75 miles an hour. Through a 60 mile an hour corner, he's gaining 3/10. It's just the difference in speed between these guys, just because of that damage, potentially because of tyre wear as well. Sam Bamkin has started his final lap. He is well on his way to a dominant victory here, with Gamer following him. A great drive from him. Here we go then. Are we finally going to get a pass? Oh my word, he's moving when he's alongside. He's going to hold on to it. A fantastic bit of driving from Parkway Drive there to manage to hold on to his car as it gets bashed across onto the dirty stuff. KLC defending this position with life and limb on the line. Here we go, at the inside. Is there anything you can do? No. That was interesting. I thought that Parkway would have maybe accelerated a little bit harder out of that corner. Did not. Got a touch bogged down in the mid-corner. It's allowed KLC to just come back around the outside. Through this first sector, of course, he's not fast. He's struggling. Oh, and now he's hit the back of him. He's lost his front wing, bits of his front wing as well. So the advantage is totally nullified. We've now got 2 cars struggling around with broken front wings, trying as Parkway's trying to get him. He's surely going to look up the inside here, is he? Yes, up the inside he tries to go. Will he get the exit? He's going to force him out. This is hard racing now. It's a better exit for KLC, but Parkway will have the DRS. On the final lap, for the final time, we're heading to this left-hander at the end of the straight. This is possibly the last big braking zone. He's forcing him. There's a bit of contact up the inside. Sam Bamkid wins the race. He's forced him out of track, and there we go. The Force India of KLC yields P5, drops to P6. Can he come back? Is there anything he can do here? It turns to the inside for this tricky left. He's going to go up the inside. There's a lot of contact. He forces him to the outside. The cars get glued together again. They did well not to suffer what they did at turn 1. Through this triple right-hander, is there anything the Renault can do? Will he go for a move into the second to last corner? He does not. Will he go for a move into the final corner? He's right up behind him. Is he going to have a dive? He does not. Oh, and the Force India stops mid-corner to try and stop him from getting through. And Parkway will take P6. He does not get KLC for P5. That penalty picked up right at the end there from being forced out costs him P5 there. He actually, if he had not got that, he would have been there. Foxy Red gets P8. Tactics and Froome had penalties there. Delange will be 11. Mike and Speed Queen in 12th and 13th. I think Speed Queen will be aiming for fastest lap in this one. What an excellent, I mean quite a dubious but an excellent battle for the final top 5 position. Another great race here in IRL. Always a fantastic spectacle put on by these guys. So there we go, Speed Queen crosses the line, disappointing for her to only be P13 in the end. Quite a tale of a race of 2 stories for the Toro Rosso team there. And now onto the podium these guys come then. Sam Bamkid takes 2 wins in a row following his debut last time out. He won there, he wins again here, and if he carries this on, despite missing the first 3 rounds, he could absolutely be a championship contender. We've just got to see how he gets on. Well done to Gamer the Best, absolutely my driver of the day there, with P15 to P2 in this race. Quality drive from him, and then Tranquility is 3rd without penalties. Him, Delange and Mike, the only ones without penalties there. Flavel takes P4, benefiting from the contact. It's KLC with P5, and then Parkway Drive with P6 following that contact. Quite a controversial battle between those guys. Nicky takes home P7. I imagine he'll be pleased with that. Foxy Red takes P8. Could have been better for him, I think, but in the end, the championship leader will hold on to his lead. The second Mercedes of Tactics is P9. Then it's Froome, rounds out the top 10 with 1 point. Delange, Mike and Speed Queen without points, and then it was Sheepy, Ross and Rossi who retired from this race. Rossi of course being involved in that contact. So there you go, that was IRL F1 round 5 for you from COTA, Circuit of the Americas, just outside Austin, Texas. I hope you have enjoyed. I've been your commentator, H Racing Green. I'm not entirely sure if I'll be back again this season. I might be. I'm always open to it. I do enjoy commentaries. But until the next time, guys, good night.